Hi there, I'm Jane Mulcahy. Welcome to Law and Justice. This is a special series on Relationships Matter. But today is more special than usual because I have asked my own daughter, Aurora Lee Seybert, to do something for me, and that is to use her voice to ask some questions of someone who's very important in decision-making circles. And that person is the lovely, wonderful, smart, brilliant with children, Benjamin Perks from UNICEF. So Benjamin and I chatted for this series a good while ago now, right at the beginning. And I thought I could chat to Benjamin again about why World Children's Day matters. But it struck me that actually, if we care about children's human right participation, then really we should have them participate more. And my daughter loves talking. She loves being asked to do things. And so I asked her, would she do this for me? And she was well up for it. And she and Benjamin chatted yesterday at the Crawford Art Gallery. Well, he was in New York. She was in the Crawford Art Gallery in Cork. I'm part of an initiative called Cork Child Friendly Cities. And I met a woman there called Fiona Quinn. Fiona leads the Cork Local Creative Youth Partnership, and she's been planning a really exciting day of creativity at the Crawford Art Gallery, which is going to happen on World Children's Day, and Aurora is part of that. She'll be interviewing kids as part of the Sofa Speaks session, and the children will be talking about their own creative projects. And this is really wonderful. We need more of this kind of thing. Child-led activities, and all children have a right and a need to be creative and to express themselves and their emotions and to play. And Ben and Aurora cover these topics and more in the interview. I really hope you enjoy it.
Welcome to the show, Ben Perks from UNICEF. I hope you enjoy it. I'm Aurora Lee Seybert. This podcast is about World Children's Day. Hi, Benjamin.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Great.
So I have to ask you a few questions. The first one is, what were you like as a child, Benjamin?
You know, I don't really know completely because I can't remember so much. I don't have enormous amount of photographs or people in my life from that time, but I think I was cheeky, I was energetic, I was playful, I think, probably a little bit naughty, but I was also somebody I think that could tell a good story and get people to forgive me if I was naughty, I think. Yeah, I'm very curious and a little bit creative, and I love sports and music.
You're describing my class.
The whole class?
Yeah, the whole class.
Okay, I'm like your whole class.
Yes.
Great.
The second question is, if you got upset about something, did you feel like you could talk to an adult?
No, not really. Not until I was about 15, and then I had a really nice teacher who was really caring and thoughtful towards me, and she changed my life. But before that, I didn't, and there were two reasons. The first one is for older people, when we were kids in the UK or Ireland or here in America, we didn't really talk about our emotions so much. We were not encouraged to, especially boys. But
yeah, that's a stereotype the
but
world
that's
has.
yeah. That's a stereotype that boys need to man up and they can't express their emotions. But of course, it's all wrong because everybody has emotions. Everybody feels sad.
Nobody can fully
Sometimes.
hide that.
Yeah. But we used to be encouraged to hide it, and that's the problem. And now that's changing for the better, and in schools and also moms and dads and family and friends are beginning to realize it's important that children can express their emotions, but also that they can build up emotional skills. Does that happen in your school?
Well, yeah, but sometimes it would be kind of hard for children to tell adults because they don't understand, they're not going through it.
But do you think they went through it when they were children and they can remember?
Sometimes they can't. Sometimes they don't remember it, or they don't want to remember it.
I think for a lot of people, older people, they were taught not to speak about their emotions. So sometimes they find it hard. And one of the things I notice is younger people, including young adults and teenagers, are much more comfortable talking about their emotions. So maybe your generation are even more comfortable than them. And they need to respond to that. I hope so, because it's good to talk about emotions.
The third question is, what did you do to express your creativity and emotions as a child?
I loved football and rugby, and I played. And I loved music. And then when I got a little bit older, I also began to love fashion. And back in those days, young people, really where I came from, I grew up in London and in Birmingham. And they're both places where people were very concerned about fashion and music and who you were and what you wore. And so yeah, I did lots of experimenting with fashion as well. So sports, music, and fashion.
Well, how did you? I messed up.
That's okay.
No, go for it. Just reformulate the question.
Yeah, actually, a lot of kids, boys as well, they actually really like fashion and stuff. I like knitting for whatever reason.
You might like knitting because it makes you calm and puts you
Yeah,
in
it's
the
very
moment.
therapeutic. I told my granny that when she taught me.
Yeah, you know, we've just had a baby called Noah, and in America, one of the top parenting experts who I work with a lot on with my job at UNICEF knitted a hat for him, and it's in the colour of my football team, Tottenham Hotspur. I can send you a photograph of him with the hat, and I asked her, I didn't think people who were very busy still knitted, and she said I wouldn't be able to work or do my job if I didn't knit. It gives me a sense of being in the moment, and I find it therapeutic.
Yeah, actually, a lot of people feel like that. Not all of them about knitting, but about other things like football, basketball, and other stuff that aren't sports.
You know, one of the things I find very calming now is Lego.
Oh, my brother loves it as well. He
Yeah.
says it calms him, but if anything breaks, he also gets very upset because he put a lot of time and effort into it.
Yeah, no, I get that. You know why Lego and knitting are so important? Because people get stressed out and their emotions go in the wrong direction if they're really focused on what happened in the past or what might happen in the future, particularly if it's negative thoughts. And knitting and Lego and meditation all put you in the moment. And that's why you find it emotionally uplifting and it makes you calm and feel centered. So it's very good. All of these things are very good. Also, people do prayers or go for a run. These things all put them in the moment.
Yeah, my mom has like a book about being in the now.
Yeah.
I find that impossible. I keep thinking about the future or the past or what I could have done to make something not have happened.
But not when you knit.
No, not when I knit. I just focus on getting the stitches and not dropping any.
See, that's why you do it, because it gets you back into the moment and being calm. So that's why knitting is good for your brain and your body. You know, your inner self, in the way going to the gym is good for your physical health.
For your mental health, for your brain.
Yeah.
The fourth question is quite similar, but do you think it's important for all children to have opportunities to be creative?
Yeah, you know, from the day they're born, children ask 100 questions an hour in one way or another. And the response of the parent to those questions is what unleashes the creativity and the curiosity and play. Children learn through play. So being creative and play is not just something nice, it's a biological imperative for every child to grow. If children cannot be creative and play, they won't feel like they're safe and loved, and they won't be they won't be happy, and it'll affect their upbringing and childhood. So children really need to be creative, to play, to be connected, attached. All of that stuff is really important. And it's a human right. It's a human right to have those things.
Part of this question says why, and you've just explained that very well. It's important for the child's well-being to grow.
Can I add one more point, right? The same way, like, so I go to the office in New York on the train, and I go into an office and I work all day, and then I come home, and like going to work is like my serious adult business. In the same way, play is the serious business of a child.
It's our version of work.
Yeah, and it's as important. It's equally as important.
Of course it is, because without play, it makes Jack a dull boy.
Yes. And an unhappy boy. And a boy that may not be sure of himself.
And a boy that will get a job as an accountant in the future and probably have an overbearing wife.
Well, I don't know about that. The reason people become accountants is not because to them being an accountant is not boring, because their brain, the way their brain is structured,
they're very good at math.
They find it exciting. They love it. Like my neighbor is an accountant, and I could never be. Yeah, I could never be an accountant, but he totally loves it, and he's a funny guy. He's happy. He's just had a baby as well. Yeah, what we worry about, rather than when children don't have the right to play and be creative, is not that they grow up to do a job that's boring to us, but they'll grow up in a way that they aren't able to reach their potential and do the kind of job that they would otherwise be capable of. That's what we worry about.
The fifth question, which is probably really important to loads of people around the world, is what is World Children's Day?
Well, children are unique and a special part of our world. We all go through childhood, and we have a set of human rights that are guaranteed for children, that should be guaranteed for children, that are set out in the Convention on the Rights of the Child. And they support the right of the child to survival. Many children still, about 13,000 children a day, die of preventable diseases in the world. So survival, development, which we mean learning. About 60% of 10-year-olds in the world cannot read basic text because their education says, they can't read and comprehend a basic text because their education system is not functioning as it should be. So it's very sad. So development, survival, development, protection for children. Every child needs to feel safe and loved. And in some parts of the world, children are also threatened by additional burdens like conflict or climate change. 1 billion children in the world are affected right now because of climate change. Their lives are affected. And also participation, the right of the child to have a say in their future, the right of children to be heard. So survival, development, protection, participation. And World Children's Day is a day when we celebrate all of this and remind world leaders about how important all of this is. And it gives children a chance to communicate, often in many parts of the world, directly with parliaments and ministers and governments, to tell them what are the rights from the Convention on the Rights of the Child that are not being fulfilled in their country, and what more could governments do to protect those children, protect their rights.
I'm 10 years old. If I hadn't learned how to read, I wouldn't know half the stuff I know, and I wouldn't be as fun, because I'm so fun.
Reading and language is a foundation for everything in life, for friendships, for learning, for future work. But it's in low income and middle income countries where that 60% are primarily living. You also have problems of children not being able to learn properly in Ireland or in the United Kingdom, but we're mainly talking about children in the poorer countries. And
like Nigeria?
Well, the whole of sub-Saharan Africa has a much greater risk, including Nigeria, many parts of Asia, the Middle East, many countries affected by conflict and war. Latin America. You know, there are many parts of the world where children don't have the school systems and health systems that you have in Ireland.
6 was why does it matter? But you've already explained why it does matter. So, and this 7 is, this year we are focusing on equality and inclusion for every child. What can people do to support this?
Well, can I ask you, firstly, what do you think we mean by equality and inclusion?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. But equality I think it means, in this context, every child gets a chance at doing the thing they love. And inclusion, every child has someone to play with or someone to do creative stuff with.
Yeah, that's a very good answer. So there are 4 things that prevent children from having equality or being included. One of them is poverty, child poverty. So when children live in situations where they haven't got the economic means, the parents don't have enough money to give them the things they need and the opportunities they need. The second one is discrimination. So when children are discriminated against because of race, sometimes because they're girls. In Afghanistan, girls can't go to school. Sometimes in Ireland or the UK because of disability. So until recently,
It's so
children.
sad because they're not given the same chances.
Yeah. So discrimination. The third one is the adverse childhood experiences, which your auntie is very does a lot of work on, which is all about situations where children live in families where the families are not really able to care for them properly, are not able to make them feel safe and loved, and that is much a bigger problem than we used to think it was. And the fourth thing that leads to inequality is when children are affected by things like war and inequality.
That's the worst.
Humanitarian, yeah.
Because people in Ukraine have to move over here and they're separated from their parents, and the children have these traumatic experiences that keep them from truly being happy and being able to be creative. There's a girl in my school who is from Ukraine. She's managed to not get over it, but work from it, and she's got loads of friends in her class and they really like her. She's a really nice person.
So you've just answered your own question. The question was,
I have.
What can you do to make children not feel excluded or discriminated against? And the way to do that is to have classrooms and schools and societies where we want everybody to have an equal chance in life, and where we want them to feel like they're a part of us and they're connected, and no child should be left without a sense of belonging and connection.
If they are, then it's just cruel to prevent them from developing into people. Thank you very much, Benjamin, but my mom's motioning that we're out of time, so bye.
Bye, thank you very much. See you soon. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Just 1 sec, sorry. We're filming it, Benjamin, you see, in the Crawford Art Gallery where this event is going to be on. So I was put here with the paint and stuff because the theme is creativity, but we just need to be out of here in about 2 minutes. And I know that you are also rather busy. Thanks a million.
Welcome.
Well,
that's fine. I'll make it work.
Thank you, Aurora. Jane, is that your daughter or your niece?
She's my daughter. She's my daughter.
I thought you said niece. That's why I said your auntie works on these.
Don't worry. I'll take that little bit out. It's fine. Okay. You were okay with it yourself?
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You're lovely, and congrats on your baby. That's lovely. Happy news.
Thank you so much. Take care and see you soon.
Take care. I'll tag you in it. Okay. Thanks a million.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. See you.